and two arrow graphs. An arrow graph links some or all of the elements in one set to the elements of a second set by means of a stated rule. The input values are placed in our domain, and we will do a calculation by applying the rule to the function. The values that come out of the function, our output, is known as our range. The domain is a set consisting of all the first elements of an ordered pair, and these are all the values that go into the function. These values are our x values on our graph. Our codomain is the set of all the second elements of an ordered pair, and these are all the values that could possibly come out of a function, and these values are on our y-axis on our graph. A rule links the members of one set to the members of another set. The values that are within a set is called a member of the set or an element of the set, and these values cannot be repeated. The range is a set of values that comes out of a function, and these are all the elements that have an arrow that links them from the domain to the codomain. Don't forget, a set must have a name. If you're asked to list the elements of a set, remember our elements, when we're listing them, we put them in curly brackets separated by a comma. So if you're asked to list the domain elements, I'm going to put a curly bracket, and I'm going to put all the members of the domain, 1, 3, and 5. End it with a curly bracket. If you're asked to list the elements of the codomain, these are all the elements, all the members that is in the second set. So I'm going to put curly brackets, and I'm going to list my elements, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, they're separated by a comma. The range, remember the range are all the elements that came out of the function, and these are all the members in the codomain that has an arrow pointing to them. So that is 0, 2, and 4. Our ordered pairs are a pair of elements that is listed in a certain order. It is usually given in parentheses. So remember, the first element of the ordered pair is my domain element. The second element is my codomain element. Remember, when we are listing members of a set, it is written in a curly bracket. So we put our curly brackets first, and we're going to take the elements that links from the first set to the second set. So 1, in the example, 1 is linked to 0. We put that in parentheses and separated by a comma. 3 is being linked to 2, so we put that in parentheses separated by a comma. 5 is being linked to 4, so we put that in a bracket separated by a comma, and we end our set with a curly bracket. If you are given the ordered pairs 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, and 14, 16, and you're asked to draw an arrow diagram or an arrow graph, the first thing you would want to do is draw your two ovals to represent your two sets. The first oval is the domain. The second oval is the codomain. Remember, the first element of an ordered pair is my domain element. The second is my codomain element. So I'm going to place 1 in the domain and 3 in the codomain. And because they are ordered pair, it means that they are linked by an arrow. I'm going to put 5 and 7 in, and I'm going to link them with an arrow. 8 goes in the domain, 10 goes in the codomain, linked with an arrow, and 14 goes in the domain, 16 in the codomain, linked by an arrow. There you have it. If you're asked to draw an arrow diagram from set X to set Y and you're given the rule add 2, we first need to draw our ovals, and we're going to put our set names, X for the first set, Y for the second set. In our set X, we have the values 1, 2, and 3. In set Y, we have the values or the members 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now the rule is going to link the members of set 1 with the members of set 2, and that rule is add 2. So I'm going to read from the domain. 1 plus 2 is going to link to what in set 2? So 1 plus 2 is going to be linked to 3 in the set 2. If I have 2 plus 2, that's going to link to 4 in the set 2. And if I have 3 plus 2, that's going to link to 5 in set 2. Remember, the range are all the elements that came out of the function, all the elements that came out of the function. And these are the elements that have the arrow pointing to them in the codomain. So it means that the range is a subset of the codomain. Remember, the greatest factor for success is self-esteem, believing you can do it, believing you can achieve it, and believing you deserve it. See you in the next video.